Good afternoon, it's wee Paddy from across a shuck. How are you doing? And today's a new title. I'm going to try and run. I keep trying to run different wee series. If they're a goer, I get communications down below. If they're not, I don't. So I don't mind that in the slightest. But I do like to try and change it up a bit. So this is going to be subscribers' questions on a Saturday. I'm not sure what the title will be, but it'll be something along that lines. And what it will be is I'm going to take questions or anything that you want as a subscriber to see on my channel. If you just put it down below in any video between now and next Friday, I'll try to do a video of it on the Saturday. And it's just where I can pick a knife out and, talk about it, or in this case, it was 3 knives. But anything you want to see or you want to talk about in knives in particular, just anything at all. It's your chance to run the channel on a Saturday. I'll pick whatever I think's best, and if the second one's good enough for another one, I'll make a list and I'll try and just catch up on that list. So here we go. This one was from Wayne Phillips. Wayne, thank you very much for being a subscriber, and thank you very much for the question. It was a very hard choice to make, but then not hard choice to make in another sense. So we'll get the question. The question is, Paddy, what is your perfect 3 knife collection? So, there's lots of ways you can take this. You could break it down into scenarios. You could break it down into, fixed blades, locking knives, slip joints. But I've taken it just as my 3. If I had 3 knives in my collection that I would pick out at the moment, would be my favorite 3 knives, and that is just for today. This could change, like everything else in this, by tomorrow. But the reason I've chose these 3 is specifically for their uses. So if I wanted 3 knives that I have in my collection, that I would have something for every eventuality that I would need in my EDC life. Not camping, not survival, just EDC knife. And I picked these 3. And the reason I picked them, this one is it's the newest one to my collection, and this is the Cyborg from Jack Wolf Knives. Definitely a stunning knife. And I picked these 3 because, well, one of the reasons I picked them is because of their blade steel. This one's M390, so it doesn't need a whole lot of maintenance. It needs sharpened less than most things. So anything that I can sharpen less is going to be good if I've only got 3 knives. It's different when you've got a box full, but if I was just to have these 3, say I decided not to be on YouTube, I just wanted to keep 3 knives and that was it. That's this scenario for me. So I want something I don't have to sharpen too much. I want something that's made of fantastic materials, titanium, carbon fiber. Absolutely stunning knife, well made, not very many moving parts, just a perfectly good serviceable knife that happens to be a slip joint. But the reason I chose these ones, and it could be any one of 4 or 5 Jack Wolf knives, is this grind. This is a slicing knife. If you want to do anything that involves slicing, this is the puppy for you. They are unbelievable. And I can't, I do keep stressing it every time. They are just perfection as far as fit and finish and blade contouring. There's nothing out there that, in my mind, beats this at the moment, especially at a £275 price line. I don't think there's anything can beat this at all. So we'll maybe come back to that, but that's the first one I would take. The next one I would take is a knife that I can use for everything else. It can be a work knife. It can be a hard use knife. It can, all these knives will be able to do different things, and they'll be able to cross hatch. But this is what I would use as a working knife. It's a slip joint again. I like the fact that it's easy to maintain. I don't have to take this apart. It's just, I can wash it out, use it, do whatever I like. And again, the blade steel 20 CV. It's another great blade steel. It's one that I don't have to sharpen a lot. And I find, especially M390 20 CV, I find them easy to sharpen. They're not hard to sharpen. You might have to go a wee bit longer, but they're easy to keep honed, and that's really important. They strop. And if you could, at the end of your day or at the end of the job you're doing, give it a quick strop, you'll extend that sharpening life of any knife by miles. So again, that's one of the reasons why I'm chose these three knives is blade steel, but also their comfort in hand for long work. Either one of these will do me all day long, and I'll not have I'll not have blisters in my hands. This one is just stunning. This is the Hinder XM18 Slippy, which I adore. It is just an amazing knife. Stunning knife in hand. It's not got a hugely thick, it's a thinner back spring than this, but yet I would use this as a working knife because with 20 CV, I'm not going to worry about this. And it's not that thin that I can't do, pokey things with. This is the perfect knife to have in the tile that'll do all tasks. This will do all tasks as well, but it's more of a thin edge for slicing. And the last of the three is going to be this one. And this one is my Cherbakov Small Stitch Titanium M390. And this is a locker, as you can see. It's a liner lock. I absolutely love this knife. This may look very, very simple, but in reality, it's not. The simplicity of the design is its key. There's nothing complicated about this whatsoever. An easy maintained knife, long, slim blade, but stocky enough to do any work you like, and yet enough to get in and poke things gently. And the reason I've picked, I love my slip joints, but there is times, for whatever reason, you can say self-defense, I suppose you can say whatever, but this is a locking knife, and if I'm doing stuff, even if I wanted to do feather sticking, I'd rather do feather sticking with a locking knife, because it is easy if you're careless. With a slip joint, you can make a mistake very quickly, and I don't want to do that. So, but this is a beautiful blade, lovely behind the edge. It's thin, but not as thin as this. But it will slice, it will cut, it will. You can do anything with it. These are sort of all-rounders that, you're not going to worry too much about, being heavy-handed with them. They will take a beating. They're designed well. Their fit and finish is phenomenal. And they've got the blade steel that will do you for whatever your task was. So if I was to put everything away and I picked these three knives to spend the rest of my life with, I would have no problem whatsoever. These are really capable knives. Yes, they're all around, when they were bought new, they were all around the £275 to £300 mark. Some of them have gone up now, some of them have gone down. But this, to me, is just, it's perfection. Do you know what I mean? They're knives that I just love. This one I've had for a long time, and I know its capabilities. It's just an all-round classic knife for me. This, I haven't had that long. I've had a few months, but using it is just a dream, an absolute dream. And the coating even on this blade, this is Russian-made Cherbakov, bit of a giveaway in the name. This is a Russian-made. Now, whether they actually make it in Russia or they get the parts and then put them together in Russia, I don't know. I don't know enough about him. But I believe he's just a custom maker, so I would say that's made in Russia by him. And to get one is quite difficult, as is this. This now is becoming harder to get. You can buy them in the secondary market, and they've dropped a bit of price in the secondary market. If you can get this Hinder Slippy, honestly, it'll never leave your collection. It's such a good knife. And a lot of these design is, like we talked about the design of this one being, sleek and simple, but just what you want in a knife. It's everything you want in a knife. This exactly the same in a hard use slip joint. This is everything you'll ever want. When you're up here, the knife is safe. If it did close, it's not going to get you. The second thing is, when you hold the knife down here and you close the blade, it's not going to get you. Do you know what I mean? It's just, so the design that Hinder put in this, that Cherbakov put in this, to keep it simple but yet perfectly tuned to do any task. And then Ben Bilkin, who does this one, the design of this it's unusual, but so functional, so comfortable in hand, and just an ultra thin blade, which, you don't want for every job, but an ultra thin blade is so handy, so handy. So there you go, Wayne. I hope that explains why I've picked these three. And again, anybody else, if you've got a question about any sort of knives or any knives that I've got in my collection, or even, why I don't have knives in my collection, please ask me and I'll explain to you the best I can. And hopefully we can make this a little series where it is you asking questions and I get a whole stack of them. So every Saturday I can just come in and pick, whether it's I need to get 10 knives out or all my knives out. Try not to do that. But, whatever it is you want to see and sort of comparing knives, this knife against another slip joint, whatever, and see what my favorite is. It's up to you. This is your part of my channel. So please down below ask any questions, anything you want to see, and maybe a full review on it, or just an explanation why it's still in my collection. If you don't think, it should be, whatever, I'll just make a discussion out of it. So this is a quick one for the first one. Wayne, thank you so much for asking. I hope this pleases you, and I'll see you all next Saturday. And hopefully I'll have at least one question to do a video on. You're very special. The whole lot of you are so special. Thank you so much. Please subscribe and hit the wee like button if you like this channel, you like the material. It really will help. Thank you very much indeed. Take care. Bye.